Welcome back to another episode of the Chinan Show, where we speak about everything mental health and self-help related. Today, we're going to switch it up a little and we're going to talk about everything spirit and spiritual with medium, aka spiritual teacher Daniel Jackson. Me want to talk about Doppy, so we're gonna talk about Doppy. So if you're interested or you want to know about Doppy and them thing there, stay tuned. I'm in a good mood, guys. Stay tuned. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. And if you're listening from Apple Podcasts, go over there, go like it, because I know so I'm gonna like it already. So yeah, stay tuned, and we're going to get into the interview. Uh, 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 uh.
Okay.
So welcome, Daniel Jackson. I'm so happy to have you here today. And thank you for taking the time out to record this episode with me today. And so we're going to go right, or we're going to get right into it. So, what is the story behind you becoming a medium?
Well, when I was a kid, I lived in a little town in the state called New Jersey here in the United States. And in that town was a little battlefield where the Hessians fought from when Britain came over here to fight to become, independent. And from that little town and because that little battlefield was there, it had a little hospital on it as well. And so many people had died during this battle that a lot of the homes around that area were all haunted. So that house was haunted. I would see stuff like ashtrays would fly off the table, or glasses. Um, my brothers and I would be downstairs watching TV. This was in the mid 70s. So back then you had a record player. You had to lift the record up and then you would hit a switch and it would drop the
Yeah,
record down. That's
yeah.
how old I am. And we would be watching TV, and then the record player in my sister's room that was 2 flights up would turn on, and it would play different records all the time, like bands by like Aerosmith and Led Zeppelin. It would just play all these records. Um,
By itself?
yeah, by itself. Um, my sister was getting ready for school one morning, and her and my mom was helping her out, and they walked into the bathroom to look into this full length mirror they had on the wall. And when my sister looked in it, there was another woman standing in the mirror. She had on a colonial outfit. But yeah, crazy stuff. Well, that's the least of it. So later on, I had moved out of the house with my mom and dad. We moved down to another state called Delaware, and my brother bought the house. And my brother he had some friends come over to the house who were knocking on the door, and there was a big picture window in the front, and they were knocking on the door, and no one was coming to the door. So they went around and looked inside, and they could see people walking around inside of the house. And then they called my brother on the phone and said, "Hey, are you going to come to the door? We're here." And my brother said, "No one's home. We're on a camping trip." So the people who
Oh,
were walking around inside the house were ghosts.
wow, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
So then when we moved to Delaware, my mom and dad weren't really seeing much in this new house. I started seeing lots of things in the house. I was playing in a band at one time. I was a drummer in a rock band, and I came home from a gig, and I went to lay down. And when I laid down in bed, something laid down next to me. I don't know who it was, and it did it like 3 or 4 times. And then the fifth time when it did it, I sat up, and when I sat up and looked around, whatever that was there with me took the blanket that I had on top of me and it lifted it up to the ceiling and was shaking it above me, and then it dropped it on top of me. And when it was doing that, I was like, I couldn't, nothing could come out of my mouth. I just couldn't say anything. So from that point on, I slept on the couch for 2 years
Mm,
downstairs because
I listen. That sounds scary.
it was scary to me. Because I was brought up in the Catholic religion, so we were taught that all those things are going to be scary, that those things were demons and devils and all that stuff. I remember once we were in that house, and I was there with my girlfriend, and she was at the end of the bed, at the foot of the bed, and I was at the other end watching TV. And this big white milky thing, maybe about a foot thick and maybe 4 inches or 4 feet long, came out of the closet and just floated across the room until it got halfway across the room, and then it just disappeared. And then my girlfriend looked at me, and
Oh, she
she
saw it
said,
too.
"Oh yeah," she said, "Did you see that?" I said, "Yeah, I saw that." And I said, "Let's get the heck out of here." But all the way living in that house, I've always seen all kinds of stuff. So I just figured again, maybe it followed me from the previous house, but that wasn't the case. Every house I moved to after that, I saw things in. Um, so much so, when it came to just before, and I was seeing this a lot all the time throughout my life, all the way up until right before my 50th birthday. And then I moved into this house when I was like 47 with my wife. Uh, and right before my 50th birthday, she went away on vacation. And when she did, I was still here working, and she was gone. And then I was seeing all kinds of crazy stuff, like green mist and red mist floating out of the walls, and then skulls coming out of the walls, and then skulls floating around my room that had red eyes and fangs in their mouth. Um, I saw I was down in the basement, and I saw my cat down there, and I told him, "Come on, let's go, buddy." And he looked at me, and he turned to his right hand side, and I looked to my left, and I saw a wall of blackness appear in the middle of the floor, and then a man walked out of it. And he had a big wide rim hat on, a black hat on, and a black coat. And he walked across the floor, but when he was walking, he didn't have any feet. And that was kind of weird. And then he just walked all the way across the room and then just disappeared. And then I was seeing these like 7 foot uh, dark shadows in my bedroom. I kept seeing these clouds come out of the top of the ceiling. It was like red or blue or gray or white. Um, I saw this one thing where right above my bed as I was sleeping, something woke me up. I looked up. I saw this big white cloud above the bed, and then like a window of blackness appeared in the middle of it. And then I saw a skeleton arm come out, another skeleton arm come out, and then he pulled the whole body out of it. And he was looking at me. He's staring at me from above the ceiling. And I was like, "What is going on?" And he just kind of floated away. And I was like, "That was crazy." So so I had so much stuff going on here. When my wife returned, I told her about all this, and she said, "We got to figure this out." So I ended up talking to a paranormal group to come to my house. And I'll tell you, the only thing that was bad about that was when they showed up and they had their little van outside. It had the name of the paranormal group on the side. I just thought to myself, I don't want to be this kind of famous, because people are going to see that and they're going to think I got the Blair Witch project going on in my house or something.
Mhm.
So they came in and they brought all this equipment with them. They brought these little tiny boxes that had little wires sticking off of it and lights on it. And I was like, "What's that for?" And they said, "Oh, well, that gets set off by static electricity." He rubbed his hand on the couch, and then he waved his hand over top of it, and it lit up. It just went bloop and lit up. And I was like, "That's pretty neat." So they put a bunch of them all around the house. And then they said, "Where do you have a lot of the activity go on?" And I said, "Well, in the bedroom." And I walked past all those things. And 1 second after I walked past them, they all went bloop and lit up around the house. And I was like, looking at him like, "What's up with that?" And he said, "I don't know. We only have maybe one or two go off, but not all of them at the same time." And I said, "Oh, okay." So then we went in the bedroom, and we were talking, and then we got done. I walked back out of the bedroom, and as soon as I walked back out, they all lit up again. And I was like, "This is crazy." And he said, "Yeah, we don't ever see this kind of activity." So then they took pictures around the room using a digital camera, and they took like 25 pictures, and they took a picture of each member of the team, and then they would take a picture of me standing next to each member of the team. And each member of the team was just a regular picture. But when I was standing next to each person, there was always like 15 or 20 of these light orbs that were completely surrounding me the whole time. And I said, what's that? And he said, oh, light orbs, that means people. You got all these ghosts that are hanging around you. And I said, okay, I don't know what the heck that's supposed to mean, but all right. Um, so then they brought this instrument into the room, and it was this round ball, and they called it an ovulus, and they turned it on, and they said, when energy comes in, it'll spit out words. And I was like, oh, okay. So they had me go in the bedroom and lay down like I was sleeping, and I was laying down, and they came in and they turned it on and they put it on the bureau, and it sat there, and all of a sudden it started spitting out words. It said Wendy, Paul, Michael, Helen. It said the word unique. It said energy, special. One time it even said the word road, like a street, said road. And when it did that, a car went right past the house. And I was like, what the heck? And then they started asking the questions. And they said, one of the questions like, are you here to hurt Daniel? And then it spoke. It said, no, we are not here to hurt Daniel. We love Daniel. We love his energy. Daniel is special. And I was like, and then that went on for like 10 minutes. And then when we got done with that, I went out into their living room with them. And they were all just like, they were all speechless. And I said, what's wrong? And they said, once, when we turn that thing on, it'll spit out one or two words, but it never spits out any sentences. And I said, oh, what do you mean? I said, well, when we were asking questions and it was answering them right back, we know that was an intelligent conversation. So that was happening right then and there. I said, yeah, I get that part. They said, yeah, but it never spits out sentences. And I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, they got all kinds of information. And when they left, they said, oh, we'll be back and we'll do a big reveal and let you know what happened. And I said, okay. And then about 2 weeks went by and they never called. So I called them to ask them when they were going to come back for the big reveal. And the guy said, I can't get anybody to come back to your house. He said, they're too scared to come to your house.
Oh, they're afraid.
Yeah. And I said, well, why are you so afraid? I thought you guys were the paranormal group. This is what you do. And he said, yeah, he said, we don't ever get that kind of information out of just one house. It takes us like 10 houses to get all that kind of information. And I was like, okay. And he said, the team won't come back in. And I said, all right. He said, yeah, they're too scared. He said, I said, so what am I supposed to do now? I said, you guys are the professionals. Why aren't you just going to come back and tell me? He said, I can't get him to come back. He said, so I said, well, that's kind of messed up. I said, you guys are the professionals and this is what you do. And you won't even come back to my house. He said, yeah, they're too scared to do it. And I said, I really don't need to know that I have spirit in my house. I get that. I know. But I want to know why. He said, I can't tell you why. I don't know why you have so many. He said, that's the issue.
You think it's a case where they're following you specifically? It's not really the house that has it. It's just they follow you. So you're the one
Well,
that have it instead of the
yes. So
host.
you hit it right on the head of the nail there. So I ended up going to see like 5 other mediums, and every one of them, none of them knew each other, but every one of them told me the same story about me. And one of them in particular told me, she said that spirit sees me like a super bright white light, like a light
Oh,
bulb. So when spirit sees you anywhere, like, because spirit is everywhere, no matter where you go, no matter what you do, when you wake up in the
like
morning,
energy.
yep, they see you, they are around you. But when they see a regular person, they see your outside body frame, but they see a light inside of you, and that's your soul. But when they see me, all they see is one big giant light. That's all they see. And so they're coming around me. And so I have a gift to see them. But the reason I'm seeing so many, or why so many are seeing me, is because they come to me because they believe that I'm the light into heaven. Um,
Oh,
and fortunately for them, after I've learned to accept my gift and to figure out how to work my gift, that's what I am. I have found out through them that I actually am the light that shines into heaven. There's only one, and it happens to be in me. And the reason it happens to be in me this time is because in order for the light to heaven to shine, to show spirit how to cross over into heaven, it has to be in a physical body to be here. It was actually in my grandfather before it was in me. Um, my grandfather also had the gift, but I never got to meet him because my parents said that he wanted to know when I was going to be born. There was something about me he thought was special, but he knew what it was. Uh, and so when I was going to be born, my dad called him up and said, "Hey, he's being born. You got to come to the hospital." And he was getting ready to come to the hospital, and he had a heart attack and died. And when he died, his soul transferred into my body. So I was him at one point, and now I'm me. Um, Everybody comes here all the time. You keep coming back over and over and over again because we're here to fulfill a purpose. Just like you right now, you are here right now. You have already been to heaven before. You've been to heaven a bunch of times, but we just keep coming back to fulfill a purpose. Well, my soul keeps coming back over and over and over and over again to be the light to shine into, to show spirit how to get to heaven. But not just people. I don't see just people. I see I see dogs and cats and fish
oh,
and horses and
animals.
cows. Yeah, I see everything. So it just and the spirit has told me that I'm a portal for all spirit. Anyone that goes into heaven, they come through me. Anyone that comes back from heaven to visit comes through me as well. And then there's all the other ones who haven't crossed over, and I cross them over as well. The ones who are in the earthbound spirit realm. So yeah, but and everyone has spirit guides that help you make decisions. So when you make up in the morning and you're going to make a decision to go somewhere, they're actually your spirit guides connect with you, which connect with your soul because that's what runs your body. It's not magic or anything, and they get you to do things, to see things, to turn around and go places and make decisions and do things. My spirit guides that I have are actually archangels. So they're basically the top of the food chain. And the reason I have them is because I cross spirit over into the light. That's my main gift. And uh, those ones, what they do is they protect me from all the negative energies because there are
Oh,
negative energies in the earthbound spirit realm. Uh, just like positive spirit
yeah.
can come through and help you make decisions and help you do good things, these negative ones can come through and try to manipulate you to do bad things. Uh, it's not. There's that saying, "The devil made me do it." Well, there's no such thing as a devil. There's no such thing as a devil. There's no such place as hell. I cross spirit over every single day of my life, and there's no hell. You either cross over into the light or you remain earthbound spirit, and that's it. An earthbound realm, there's nothing there. I see it all the time. There's like ground, and I just see thousands and thousands of people just walking around every day. But there's no trees and there's no buildings or anything. They're just walking around looking at each other, and there's nothing to do there. So, I mean, since there's nothing to do there, I would consider that maybe a hell, but there's nothing, it's not on fire. There's
Like purgatory. Like you're just
no
waiting.
purgatory, nothing. That's all made up. That's all made up by people who want to control you. And the people who want to control us are religion and government. Religion is going to tell you how to live your life the way they want you to live it and give them 10% at the same time. But the reason why they tell you these stories about purgatory and hell is because in order to control you, in order to control us, they have to put us in punishment somehow because that's what they would do. So if they tell us that we're going to go to this horrible place and they tell us over and over and over again, eventually you'll think it's true. And then what they will do is they will tell you how to live your life. And then if you don't do it their way and you sin, because they call it sin, then you're going to go to hell. And you think, oh no, I don't want to go to hell. I'll do what they tell me to do. That's why they tell you that type of stuff. But is there a devil there with horns? No. There just isn't. And I see spirit all the time. I have yet to see anything that looks like that. Um, and I see everything. For me, if I'm in a dark room, as soon as the lights go out, I just see people. And I see so many people. It's like being in a room with 1,000 people, except nobody leaves and more people just keep coming in.
Isn't that overwhelming though?
Yeah, I have to take medicine to go to sleep at night because if I don't, they'll just bother me all night. And I mean really bother me too because they don't see me like
A
you see me.
person.
Right. They see that bright white light. So since they don't know what I am most of the time, I just picture this because they can come through. They come through and they touch me all day long. So they'll touch me and poke me and pinch me and do all that stuff all day long. They'll touch me on my face and on my nose. But my spirit guides, the archangels, um, I see them every day. Um, when I'm during the day, when it's light out like this, when I'm looking here at you, I actually see them right here next to me. They don't they if you've ever seen someone with a cigarette and they're smoking and the smoke comes off the cigarette, it looks like little petals coming off the
Mhm.
cigarette. That's what I see. It's right here and right here all day long, all around me right here and all around me. Um, but at nighttime, they glow like a bluish white at nighttime. And I can tell you from what I've seen and that what I see every single day and every night of my life, angels do not look like men with wings. They just don't. They're just not that. That's what the Bible makes them out to be is complete bull crap. They
How do
just
they
don't look
look
like
then? How do they look?
Uh, most of the ones that I see, so like Archangel Michael, he looks almost like a moose. Okay, he's got a wider head.
Mhm.
His eyes are not here on the side; they're in front, but they're wider apart. And he has a long body that looks like a moose body, of course, because the hair on it is real fine looking. And that's, but he doesn't have any antlers. It just looks like a moose without any antlers. Um, there's another ones so they touch me for answers too. It's you got to get used to that as well. uh, but let's see, Raphael, Uriel, I'm trying to think of them which ones look like which. um, yeah, Raphael, Uriel, Gabriel, Archangel Gabriel, they look like a praying mantis. You ever see what one of those looks like?
Yeah, the little
That's
bugs
what they
that
look like.
rub their
That's
hands.
exactly what, and I see them at nighttime and I look up at them and that's what they look like. They look like a bug, like a praying mantis, like that type of thing. And they just move their arms and their legs and I see all that stuff and they touch me for answers. So when I ask questions, because I can have to cross spirit over, I have to ask questions to do that. And since I can do that for the spirit, I can ask them absolutely any question that I want to, and they answer me. Sometimes they put a thought into my mind, but most of the time they just touch my face for answers. These are the ones that are touching me right now that I get answers from. It's actually added 3 of them in the past week. Um, but in the very first year, I was getting 2. I had one. Her name was Helen, and she was touching me here. It feels like if you cut yourself and blood was dripping across your face. That's what it
Oh,
feels like. So it goes across here. Her
it's
name's
kind of
Helen, and then another one here. His name is Manos. And when I looked his name up, Manos in Greek, it means God is with us. So he was touching me here. She was touching me there. Well, she's now moved. She's up here now. She touches my head like she's rubbing my head, like it feels like a spider walking across my head. So I know exactly what it is and who it is at that time. So I have a Raphael that touches me here now. It's Raphael, Manos. I have Gabriel touches me here on my temple. I have Uriel touches me up here. I have another Raphael touches me here on my left ear, goes down my left ear. I have Michael, Archangel Michael touches me here. I have one that touches me right here. His name is Paul. And then that woman, Helen, is right here. I have another one that touches me here. You know his name. His name is Jesus. And I have another one that touches me over here. You know his name. He's not the bad guy. His name is Lucifer. He touches me here. I have a Jacob that touches his. I feel it go across like this and up to there. And I have another one named Daniel that touches me right here. And then I have another one that touches me across the top of my forehead like that. His name is uh, Ezekiel.
So how
So
do you know specifically? Like, how can you tell who is who? Do they tell you and then eventually you just get used to a pattern?
um, because like the one, his name Ezekiel, just came in the other maybe 4 or 5 nights ago. I felt this thing and I was like, oh, I said, hey, that's a new one. Is that a new one? And then I got that. Every time they touch me on this, on above my forehead, that means yes. So if I ask a question, that's what I get. Yes. So I get a yes. Now I only get one answer for no. So when they touch me for a no, it always feels like a tear's running down the left side of my eye. I only get one for no. So no matter who is giving me the yes, it's a yes answer. No matter who says no, I only feel it one way. So I know exactly when a no is. And then for each one of the names that came in, when I felt that, like Ezekiel came in, when he touched me, I said, oh, I said, that's a new one. I said, I don't know that name. I said, do I know that name? And then all of a sudden it came right into my mind. It said Ezekiel. It came in. And I was like, a name came in. I said, did you just say Ezekiel? And he said, yes. And I was like, oh, crap. So it's gotten to that point now where they just put thoughts into my mind. So much so that my thoughts are no longer my thoughts anymore. So just imagine walking around and then all of a sudden these thoughts just come into your mind and you know they're not your own thoughts. Well, it's that way for me now. So it used right now it's at the point where maybe only 25% of the thoughts are in my head are actually mine. The other 75% that come in are spirit. And it's changing all the time. Well, eventually it's going to get to the point where it's 90% them and 10% me. So much so
Mhm.
that because of that, I'm losing my memory on a lot of things.
Oh,
I'm actually
wow.
writing a book right now about me and my journey to get to this, but I'm trying to do it as fast as I can to get it written and all the things I need to write down because I'm starting to forget everything. So
Oh,
it's getting to the what they're doing is they're changing me. That I see them work on me at night. Have you ever seen a movie called Avatar?
yeah.
Okay, do you remember in the movie where the main character guy gets hurt and he hurts his leg and they put him in that big bubble thing and then you see the
Yeah.
machines working on him?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I see every night when I'm in here or in meditating or when I go to bed at night. Before I go to bed, I turn out the lights and I see the praying mantis ones over top of me and I see their arms coming down and they're touching me and I can feel it on my skin. I feel these little cold spots hitting my skin. And what they're doing is they're changing my soul. They're making it better in order for me to be able to see them and to communicate with them better. But since they're doing that, it's changing me. So I'm no longer the person that I used to be anymore. I don't feel the same way about things anymore. I was an avid motorcycle rider, and I still have my motorcycle, but I don't really I mean, I'll go out and ride once in a while, but I'm not as interested in it anymore. I'm not as interested in a lot of things anymore because I'm becoming what they want me to be in order to. But what they want me to be is they want me to help people. I'm here to help people to show them there's a better way to living in life. All the information that I've gotten about spirit, about everything, I've got it all in the past 4 years. Uh, I know things about the Bible that I've never read a Bible before. I just go to sleep and then I wake up and then I know more stuff. It's really strange to be get used to that, but it's really crazy. But I know it's for a good reason, so I'm okay with it.
My question is, have you ever had like a family member? Have you seen any of your family members or communicated with them, family members that had passed
Which
on?
one? I see my grandfather. I see my father. I see my mother. My mother just passed away about 2 months ago, and then I walked into this room here, and when I did at nighttime, my mom really liked roses, and she knows that I like that. And when I walked into the room, all I could smell was roses in this room. And there's no reason, there's no flowers in this house. So there's no reason why so when I smelled that, I was like, oh, I said, is my mom here? And then I got an answer, I said yes. And when I got the yes, I turned out the lights and I could see my mom.
So you can't have like conversations. It's just
Oh,
yes and no.
absolutely. Yes. Yeah. So,
Oh,
but most of the time when I get information about someone, like I do readings for people and someone comes to me and asks me questions. I don't necessarily specifically talk to their mom and dad unless, because the way it works for me is I talk to the archangels and then they tell me stuff that the spirit is saying. Or sometimes it does happen that they come through and they actually start talking to me. Um, just the other day, I was sitting uh, talking to my wife, and this is how fast things happen for me. I was talking to her, and then I was just a little tired. I closed my eyes. When I did, I saw a woman, and she came right up to me, and she said, "Hey, man!" And she went like this, like she was going to give me a high five, and I was like, "Whoa, what the? Who the hell was that?" Uh, they just they just see me, and they come up to me, and sometimes they just say things. I was in my meditation room one time, and I had my eyes closed and nice and dark in here, and I saw these two men, and they were standing near me, and they were looking at me. And the one guy, I heard them talking to each other, and the one guy, because it's all mental, like mental telepathy. It's not. It's like you just you hear it in your mind, and they were talking to each other. And one guy said, "Hey, I think I'm going to go in there." And the other guy said, "I can't go in." And he said, "Why not?" He said, "You ready for this?" He said, "Because I murdered two people." And I was like, wow, I didn't say anything. And the other guy said, "Okay, I'm going in. See you later." And he jumped in. When he did, a big flash of light goes off. There's always a big flash of light. I see that every day. And I see it physically. And then the other guy was just standing there. So I started talking to him. I said, "Hey, how are you?" And he looked at me like he can't believe there's a voice coming from the light. And I said, "Yeah, there's a voice coming to the light. Get over it." I said, "Do you want to cross over? Do you want to go home?" And he said, "I can't do it." I said, "Well, my name is Daniel. I said, I'm here to help you, to let you know that you could cross over if you want to." He said, "Yeah, but I killed two people." I said, "That's okay. It's not like you did anything you weren't supposed to do. You did whatever you did, you were supposed to do it. Those two people were supposed to die. That's just the way it is." And he said, "I'm not okay with that." And I said, "All right, well, if you want to cross over, anytime you see the light, just come on by." Because like I said, I see everything that happens physically. Like I was talking to my sister one time a couple of weeks ago, and it was a low lit room. And when we were in the room, all of a sudden a big flash of light went all around me. And she said, "What was that?" And I said, "Oh, that?" I said, "Oh, that's just somebody jumping in." And she said, You mean crossing over?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "That happens to you all the time." I said, "Well, I am the light into heaven." I said, "Yeah, I see it all the time." And she said, "But it looked like lightning went off in that room." I said, "Yeah, well, I see it every day, all day." So she said, "It doesn't bother you?" I said, "No." I said, "When you get used to it, you just get used to it." But there's a lot of things with my gift that I get used to that it's hard for other people to understand. Like when I
I'm
go outside at nighttime, when you go outside at nighttime, you look up in the sky, you see the stars in the sky and stuff. I don't see the stars anymore. It went away 2.5 years ago. All I see now is a blue black sky. And when I look up in there, all I see is people, ghosts floating around, walking around just everywhere. That's all I see.
I have a wow, it's a lot to take in. It's a lot to take in, but
It is a lot to take in. And I've
as
gotten it all in 4 years. So yeah, I agree.
as a normal person, how do you know that you have like special abilities even if you're not aware? I mean, can spirits visit you in dreams and all that stuff?
Yes. So when spirit come to you in your dreams, I'm going to tell you a little trick that you can do. So when you're dreaming at night, basically what happens is your spirit, your own soul is rising up out of your body. It's still connected to your body, but it rises up out of your body. That's the closest you're ever going to be to going to heaven while being still connected to your body. Okay. And when you have someone come in your dreams, that means that person who you're dreaming of is actually standing right next to you, wherever it is that you're sleeping. Okay. So if you're having a dream of your mom or your dad and they have passed away, they're standing right next to you. If you ever want to talk or see them again in person, wake yourself up. Because when you wake yourself up, you'll see them standing right next to you.
Oh,
And
that's
they may smile at you and stuff like that. But the thing about them when they're in your dreams is, if you notice, they never talk about their death.
no.
And the reason they don't is because it's not important. The only people who find your death important are us who are alive, because we think it's going to be this horrible thing when it's not. All it is you moving to the next step. And the way that it's going to happen for you is going to happen for everybody. You just, because it doesn't make a difference if you fall off the top of a building or get hit by a car or die of a debilitating disease or COVID or whatever it is, or even suicide, whatever it is. All that is a facilitation in order for your body to die, because your body has to die in order for your spirit, your soul, to move on. So what's going to happen is basically you just fall asleep and then you wake up and you'll stand up, you'll look down at your body and you'll say, oh, I guess I don't need that anymore. You'll take a step to the left, you'll look to the right hand side, you'll see a light that's going to come on, because everybody gets a personal light. It's not me, but you get a personal light. And then when you see that light, just walk in. But a lot of people don't cross over. They don't go into the light because they feel like, oh, they're going to be judged, or they're going to hell or purgatory, or someone told them they were a bad person, or lots of other reasons. And like that guy who said he murdered 2 people, so he didn't think he could go in. So, but a lot of them stay here. They stay earthbound spirit. As many people that cross over into the light, there are just as many who don't cross over. And I'm not talking like you hear about 1 or 2, or I'm talking gazillions of people don't cross over into the light and they remain here. Like I said, spirit is everywhere. If you go to a store, you don't have to go to a haunted house or a prison or something like that that's broken down to see spirit. Right in the room that you're in right now, there are spirit around you, and they watch everything we do, but they don't really care what we do because they don't have to do it anymore. They don't have to sleep, they don't eat, they don't breathe, they don't break bones, nothing. They just are just around us. That's all. But when if you're a regular person, and if you are seeing things out of the corner of your eyes, or you're seeing things that other people don't see, like I see this cloudy mist once in a while that goes right into my face, that's also somebody crossing over. But if you see that, or you see the little squiggly lines, or you see little lights going, or little sparkly lights in the air,
I
or
see
if you're,
that.
or
The
that,
sparkly
when you're
light.
seeing sparkly lights, you're
Like if you
seeing people.
focus properly, you can see the sparkly light.
Yep, you're seeing people when you see that. They don't always show themselves, because some spirit do want to be seen, but most spirit just don't. So, but when they show themselves in little sparkly lights or little light orbs flying around,
Mm-hmm.
what you're seeing at that time is you're seeing people.
So they aren't particles.
No, no, they are people.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I've had because my dad passed away when I was in the 8th grade, and you know, I was with my auntie at the time, and she spanked me, but I don't remember for what it was. And I said that I'm going to call my dad, because knowing that my dad passed away, so there's no power or nothing he can do. And I went to sleep that same time, and my dad came in my dreams and he said to me that if you know you should not call me, because if you call me, I am going to try and take you back with me. So if it is that you're in trouble, don't call me if that's not what you want. And then he went away. He opened a door and then he went away. And then when I wake up, because in Jamaica here, you have a lot of denominations of church, but my auntie, she is Pentecostal. So she
Okay.
was over me talking about pleading the blood of Jesus and all of that, and how she can smell my father and that he was here and him should come out and all of that. But I don't know. I don't know what how to feel because it felt real. The situation felt real. And after that I just didn't. I didn't try to call him. And then a couple years later my auntie called me and she said she dreamed that my father was there and that he was looking for me because I moved like 3 times. And he expressed to her that he doesn't know where to find me. So yeah, I've had that
So
happen.
what you should do is you should call out to him.
And so what's going to happen? Is
Nothing's going to happen because all that religious stuff is bullcrap. So, so what I mean by that is, what spirit wants you to do is they want you to acknowledge the fact that they are still here, because
oh
because your father is still here.
and a couple years ago I when
He's standing
I
right
I
behind you.
I I how does he look?
Oh, he looks fine. I can see him on your right side. He's right behind you. He looks
Oh,
fine. He doesn't. He's not in pain or anything like that. You don't suffer any pain. What have you? Um, I'm going to ask them a question real quick though, because I'm always connected. All I have to do is ask a question. They're talking to me all the time. Um, oh wow, he looks fine. I can see him. Wow. So this is when I close my eyes. He's actually like he's like right behind you, but he's peeking around, looking at you. I mean, he's like so his face is right next to your face on the right hand side. I'm gonna ask him a question now. He's got very short hair too, like it's cut very short to his head.
mhm.
Ask him a question. So are you here for that? Is he here for her? So the reason your dad is here is because, like I talked about, how we all have spirit guides. So
Yeah.
everybody has spirit guides. You always have a male and a female with you, and the male helps you with more masculine type of decisions that you're going to make, and the woman's here for more nurturing type. But your father is actually here for you. He's here as a spirit guide for you as well. So he is the one who's more in control of the spirit guide part. So he wants you to call out to him. So so what you can do is you can ask him for advice for things, and then he can come through and bring signs to you to show you that he's here. Um, you don't have to talk to him about his death because he doesn't care about that crap. Um, so what you can do with that is if there's anything that you and your dad shared when you were a kid that you know about, like say, like if my wife was to pass away and I know she likes mermaids, if I was going to ask her a question and say like, hey, honey, I need to, and I would say it right out loud because they can hear everything you do. They can see everything you do. They can actually read your mind too. They can read your thoughts because they're pure energy. And I would ask her, hey, I want to buy a car. Should I buy this car? And then if I see the word mermaid somewhere or hear it in a song or see it on a TV show or something like that, what she would be doing is she would actually be connecting with my soul, getting my body to turn around and see these things, to notice these signs, because that's what they do. And if I saw all those things, then that would mean yes, go and buy the car. If I saw nothing or heard nothing or no sign came through, then it would be a no. You can do that same thing with your dad. all you have to do is ask him questions. But when you ask him the question and he shows you the sign, and that is the answer for yes or no. If you get nothing, it's a no. If you get signs, that's a yes. And if you get the yes answer, he wants you to follow through with what he's telling you. Because if sometimes we take our ego and we change things and go, oh, you know what? I think I'm going to change it a little bit. When you do that, it's going to get messed up. It's not going to come through the way you wanted it to come through. So don't try to change it around. When he tries to give you the answer, follow through with what you asked him that you wanted to do. If you wanted to go buy a car and he gave you signs, that would be a yes. Then just go buy it. Don't do anything else. Just go and buy it, because they can come through and help you to do these things, but we have to listen to what they say and to follow through with what they tell us to do.
It's like how in some old practices, they would do things to honor their ancestors, and they would try to talk to them, and the ancestors would give them signs here and there, and they'll
Yeah.
do. So it's similar. So it's not really a new age thing.
No, it's not. It's been this way for thousands and thousands of years. And when someone tells you that, oh, you shouldn't be doing this because when you do that, you're talking to Satan or you're talking, no, that's a lie. Those people are just trying to control you and don't want you to know how much control and how much power you have over your own life. The people who don't want you to feel that way want you to think that you need to rely on them for the rest of your life. And you don't. You don't have to rely on anybody. Not one. And if you have people in your life who are not helping you in your life, who are not lifting you up and being a good part of your life, and then you're also being a good part of their life, a good positive force. I don't care if it's your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your cousin, your best friend, your so-called best friend. If they're not helping you in your life, get rid of them. There's nothing in a book anywhere that says you have to talk to these people, because what they are, it's like a singer and an audience, and you're the audience and they're the singer, and they're just going to put negativity on you as long as you stand there and take it. But you don't have to take it. Just walk away. Just walk away and don't be a part of it. And then they'll stop singing. They'll go find somebody else to put their negativity on. But
That's true.
yes, spirit is here to help us, but we need to figure that out, and we need to and like I said, acknowledge. They want to be acknowledged that they're actually here, and they want to have you acknowledge the fact that they're actually trying to help us, and we're actually trying to listen to it and pay attention to it. But a lot of people just don't. Our ego comes in, because ego, pain, anger, sorrow, grief, guilt, anguish, and ego. You learned how to have those things in your life. They were never in your when you were a baby. Here's how things are learned in this life, and it's going to make a lot of sense to you once I say it. If you take two kids of the or like take children who are all the age of 2 years old, of every race, creed, and color across the whole world, put them all in one big room, and they're all 2 years old, and then take two of them and have them turn around, and then you tell them, I want you to point to me. Who do you hate in this room? Those kids are going to look at you like, I don't know what you're talking about, because at two
They
years
don't
old,
know. They
they
don't
don't
know
know how
what
to
is.
hate. No. So everybody hates everybody and all this mess because we taught them to do that. We have to teach ourselves differently to stop doing that, because the one thing we need to stop doing is we need to stop segregating ourselves from ourselves. We need to stop separating each other. We are not the black race or the white race or the yellow race. We're
We're
one
just
race.
people.
We're the human race. That's what we are.
Okay, so if you have struggled with any type of mental illness, is it a case where, or can it be a case where, like, dark spirits can come and latch on to you because you
Yes.
are walking around with this negative energy,
Yes.
and then
Absolutely.
in turn, because it feeds off the negative energy, it makes you feel
Yes.
worse and worse every day.
Yes, man, you're hitting it right on the head. Holy crap. Yeah, I don't even have to answer that question. Yes. So what happens is when you walk around, because if you are walking around with depression or anxiety, the only person who's holding on to that
Is
is
you.
you. Yeah. And if you want to keep it inside you, because people say, "Oh, I can't let it go." It's not they can't let it go. They won't let it go because It's just like if you were an alcoholic and I said, well, I could help you, I could take you to classes and I could do all this stuff. But until you decide you're going to stop drinking, whatever I say to you is not going to work. So yes, so when these people are walking around feeling miserable all the time, then these negative energies, the ones who haven't crossed over, can come through because where they are, they need negative energy to survive there. So they find us because we have more energy than they do because we're still connected to this and our light is still bright. But when you're feeling negative, when you're feeling down in the dumps and everything is going wrong for you, the reason it's going wrong for you is because people who put out negative energy get negative energy back. I use this term all the time when I say we create our own storms, but then we cry when it rains all the time. So if I'm putting negativity out there, I'm going to get it right back. And when you do that and it just becomes a circle, then these negative energies are floating around and they see you and they go, oh, that person's putting out some negativity. And then, yeah, they attach themselves to you. And then what they do is they give you a little bit of negative energy so you'll stay negative. And then also at the same time, they suck negative energy off of you. I call them energy vampires, is what they are. And they will attach themselves to you. The only way, there's one only way. You can't do any praying or some type of religious crap or voodoo crap or anything. Witchcraft, all that stuff is bullcrap. You can't do any smudging. Smudging does nothing. If smudging were to work, let me tell you, yeah, I just saw that look on you. If smudging were to work, then how come all the forest fires we've had in the world that burn everything up haven't made all those negative energies go away? You know why? Because it's not real. Because the thing about negative energies or even positive energies, anyone who's passed away, they don't have lungs anymore. They don't breathe anymore. They don't sleep, eat, none of that stuff. If they can't breathe, then they can't smell. And if they can't smell, it doesn't make a difference what you're burning. It ain't going to make them go away. It's just not. The only thing that's going to make them go away is for you to turn around, you to make a choice, for you to be a positive person. And that's the only thing it's going to think about positive things, do positive things, help other people. That's a big one because that's what your purpose is. You can learn lessons in your life. So if I pick up this rag and I put it down, that's a lesson. If I pick it up and drop it, it's another lesson. It's not a good lesson or a bad lesson. It's just a lesson because there's no wrong and right. There's no epic failures. There's no mistakes. There's only what works for you and what doesn't work for you. And if it doesn't work for you, quit doing it. That's all. But what your purpose is in this life, your purpose is the same as mine. It's the same as everyone's that you go out and you see around you. Your purpose is you are here to help people, but just for the sake of helping them. I don't mean helping them like opening a door or just saying hello. Physically helping them. It's not going to make you any money or make you famous or anything. Someone's going to come up to you in your life and ask you for help. They're going to say, I'm lost. Can you help me? Yes, but it's up to you in using your free will that God gave you to make decisions to decide whether or not you're going to help them or not. If you help enough people in this world, you won't have to come back again because you have been here a bunch of times already. You want to know how many?
Sure.
You've been here 26 times.
Wow, that's crazy.
So you have lived 25 other lifetimes. Now you're on number 26. So you know what that means? The other 25 times, you just didn't get it right. You didn't fulfill your purpose, and that's why you had to come back again. The goal was to fulfill your purpose, to never have to come back again.
Oh, so
That's
my
what you're
question
doing.
is, like when you go to, I've had these situations where like I'd go to sleep and is it vivid or lucid? Like you have a dream that's very powerful, so you kind of feel like it's happening, like really happening, but then you forget about the dream, right? And then like either a couple months later, the same thing is happening, and you're like, but I dreamt about this. What does that,
That's
what
that's
is,
that's spirit's way of trying to help you in your life, trying to bring you a message about what could happen in your life if you are if you are staying on the correct path. Sometimes they will do the same thing if you are on the incorrect path, trying to get you back on the correct path. Um, and what happens when you're on the incorrect path is you come back again because you didn't get things right the first time. But they will bring through these messages, these dreams that are going to not necessarily be what it was in the dream, but it was something for you to interpret what it meant. So like when you wake up in the morning and if you are having these dreams and you remember them, it's a good thing to write them down because it's going to eventually it's going to make sense for you. Especially if you're having a dream and there's someone in the dream who has passed away, and if they're telling you things, you need to write that stuff down
I've only saw
because
my
it's
dad twice. And the last time I saw him, he said to me that um water is coming inside of his house. And if I can get to him because water is coming in. So I figured that water is coming inside of his grave. That's what I'm interpreting it to be. But you said that they don't care about that stuff.
no, it has nothing to do with him and his death. Um, is he talking about a storm? He's talking about a storm. You're going to have a bad storm. That water is going to come into the house from the storm.
No, but that
So
was
so
that was 2 years ago or some time ago.
see where they are and where we are, where they are, there's no time and space. So where he is right now, so say you said it was 2 years ago for you when you had the dream. For him, 2 years ago was like 2 days ago. When you I'll give you an instance for that. So I what I mean by that is I did a reading for a woman and she told me about her sister. She wanted some information about her sister, and I found out her sister had not crossed over into heaven. So I had to call out her sister later to try to get her to cross over. And when I called out her sister, this woman's sister told me she had been trying to talk to her alive sister. And I said, well, you're not getting the message to her. She said, well, I only died 2 days ago. And I said, no, you didn't. And she said, what do you mean by that? And I said, you died 20 years ago. And she was like, I feel like I've only died 2 days ago. I said, yeah, it's been 20 years. So where they are, the time doesn't matter. So when you have a dream like that, the time when you had the dream doesn't matter. But what they're trying to tell you is something that is possibly going to happen. Um, so you have to be weary of that. And then he may bring you a direct message like that, and then you may have other dreams that are kind of related to that. And when you get those dreams together, that's going to be something that could possibly happen. Uh, but it all depends on what you do with that. So you get the information, and then you may say, hey, I just got this dream that my dad said that there's going to be water coming into the house. And when he means house, he means house, or the land itself. So the land itself may have a big flood or something like that. Uh, and so that's telling you that maybe we should be prepared for something like that in case, like make sure we have plenty of supplies and plenty of food and plenty of water and stuff like that, in case some big type of catastrophe does happen. He's just trying to look out for you.
Okay,
I
that's a
mean, you
lot.
just told me you had a big giant storm. You had to shut the house down, correct?
We're going to have a storm, but we're not sure how heavy. It's probably some rain. Hopefully, it doesn't do much damage, but yes, we're going to have a storm this weekend, a tropical depression this weekend.
And that could be a lot of water in the house, correct?
Yeah, that could be. Yeah. And I know that my veranda is leaking, so there's some truth to that.
Right. So maybe yeah, keep an eye out for those types of things.
I will. I will.
You will now.
So is astrology related to spirit in any way? Because
Not really.
I know that there is a lot of people now interested in astrology and crystals and all of that stuff.
Crystals, yes, crystals can help you because they are a natural type of energy. So since they are natural energy, you can get that energy off of them as well. We put crystal grids in our house for that. Um, and then you have to let them sit out in the sun or in the moon.
Charge
Uh,
to
yeah, to
charge.
charge up. Yeah, and that's good for the home. Astrology, I really don't pay attention to that stuff. And the reason I say that, like I said, you have been born 26 times. So what is your sign right now?
Libra. I'm a
Okay,
Libra.
well, maybe you were a Libra this time around, but maybe the last time you weren't. So does it have anything to do with anything? No, because the reason I say that is because when you come into the world, every time you come into the same family circle every single time. But you don't always come back as the daughter. Sometimes you come back as the mom. Sometimes you come back as the dad. Sometimes you come back as a brother. You come into a different body all the time because you're here to learn lessons in a particular body. Uh, and that body that you're coming into, your soul, when it's in heaven, you just don't know this because you don't, you know, but what happens is when you're there, you choose the body you're going to come into. And I mean, even the ones who come into a body that has like what we would call a debilitation, or like if they
Disability.
come here and they're in a wheelchair, they chose to do that. And the reason why they chose it is because that was going to be some easy lessons to learn and a purpose to fulfill. And then when they got done, they go to heaven and then they don't ever have to come back again. Even when you
Oh.
pass away and you go to heaven, you'll be completely coherent of being yourself. You'll know everything about it and you'll be there. You've met Jesus before, you've met angels before. When you go home to heaven, you don't just meet the 200 or 300 people you've met here in your lifetime. When you get back there, you know everybody. And I mean gazillions of souls, you know every single one of them, because that's where home is. This isn't home. You came from there. We all came from there. We just all had to come here and learn lessons and fulfill a purpose, trying to help each other.
Okay, that's an interesting take on it.
But like I said, the point for you doing is for you to fulfill your purpose so you can go home and then just stay there.
So
That's what you
nothing,
want to do.
so nothing really matters unless we connect to spirit and ourselves.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely.
that's simpler than
It's
religion, to be
very simple.
honest.
Yeah. Because if whatever you want to call them, if you want to call it God or a higher power, he made it simple. It's not as complicated as people want it to be. He made it simple so it would be easier for us to understand it.
So what about the people that has done wickedness, like going on rampage, killing people, raping off people, all that stuff? What
They're
happens
using
to
their
them?
free will, and they're using their free will too much about themselves. That's all they're doing. They're doing it because they just want to do it, and that's all they want to do. They're not evil. They're not per se like evil people, except they may have a negative energy that is attached to them, influencing them to go out and do this stuff. They're not demons and devils and all that stuff. They're just negative energies. They were horrible people when they were here. They didn't cross over. They remain there, and then they attach themselves to you, and then they can whisper in your ears and they put thoughts into your mind. But again, it's up to you to decide if you're going to follow through with that or not. You could choose and say, no, I don't want to follow through with that. I'm not going to go out and kill people. I'm going to be good to people. But if you decide, oh, I think I will. I'm going to go out and kill people today. That's what I'm going to do. That's your choice. Just like everything else in this world, it's your choice to do it. Now, when they pass away, they can still cross over into the light and still go to heaven. But if they were just killing people all the time, then they were not helping anybody. And if you're not helping people, then you're on the incorrect path. And then you will just have to come back and live a whole nother life over and over and over again until you get it right. That's all. And everyone dies, and everyone can go to the same place if you choose to go to that place. Because no matter what, no one lives to be 150 years old. Everyone dies. There's two rules in this world that people need to pay attention to. If you follow the rule and you understand them, you'll learn to appreciate your life a little bit better. And rule number one is people die every day. And rule number two is you can't change rule number one. And it's pretty simple.
Yeah, that's true.
So no matter what you do, at some point, you have something in common with me. We're both going to die.
Mm-hmm.
So go out and try to help as many people as you can and enjoy your life at the same time. You can do that. Or you can be a negative person and be one of these horrible people and go out, oh, I don't care about anybody else, blah, 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 forget you and forget you. And you could be that too if you want to. But if you choose to be that way, I'm just telling you, you're going to be on the incorrect path and you're coming back.
That's an interesting take. Well, this is a lot to go and think about.
Yes, it is.
It is. And I want to thank you for taking the time out. I've learned a lot, and it's shifting my perspective, you know.
Good. That's
But
what I'm here to do.
I'm going to draw it to an end because I don't want it to cut off. So I want to thank you for coming, and I'd like to have you back again soon to talk
Oh,
about
absolutely. Yeah, just let me know and
more
we'll do this again.
more stuff related. But thank you for coming. I really do appreciate it. And hope to see you again.
Hope to see you soon. Oh, can I plug my webpage?
Yes, of course.
Sure.
I would
Oh,
put everything in the description box. Do you have like
okay.
a podcast or anything?
Yeah, I can just send that information to you if you want me to.
Yeah, you can go ahead and plug it, but I'll put it in the description as well.
Oh, okay. If anybody wants to get a hold of me and have a reading done, they can ask me any question they want to, and I'll get an answer for them. And that's at www.spiritmediumdaniel.com. Just one long word, spiritmediumdaniel.com. Or I have a podcast if they want to watch that, where I talk about this stuff, talk about what angels look like, everything. And that's at www.beyond-the-veil.com.
Okay. Thank you. And all the information for anyone who is listening, all the information that he just said will be in the description box, so you don't have to struggle to remember what he said. It will just be down, so you can click it and it will take you exactly where you want to go. So yeah, thank you for coming. And I'm going to pause. So guys, if you stay till the end of the interview, put a butterfly in the comments and let me know. Let me know what you think about this interview, because child, I am shook. Like, I just want to go sleep. Like, I just want, is it? But remember to like, subscribe, and share, and keep on keeping on. At the beginning in the intro, you might hear me say the Chinan Show, which I will be switching over very soon to the Chinan Show. So look out for that soon, and keep on keeping on. Me have to come back for the outro, but yeah, keep on keeping on. I will see you guys in another podcast episode.